Leadership is not for the faint-hearted. And there's a need for you and I to understand the kind of leader that we are, and to also understand the level of leadership skills that we have. Because if we do not understand the kind of leader that we are, there's a temptation for us to bite more than we can chew. And there's that need to understand the kind of leader that you are, as it will help us to properly and to correctly estimate ourselves in the things of life, and as it touches the career, business, and the marketplace. There's no point stretching and longing to do the things that our skills have not been properly tweaked. In Africa, we tend to arrogate a lot of things to ourselves that we have. But we need to learn to pace ourselves, because if you don't pace yourself and to understand the level of your leadership, there is that temptation for you to begin to pull more than you can actually carry. And so if you pull more than you can actually carry, it can actually cause us to crash. Now, according to John Maxwell, he opines that there are about 5 levels of leadership that every one of us are in. If you start out being a positional leader, you can grow yourself to the point that you become a leader that people respect, a pinnacle leader, a legacy leader. And it's not that people do not respect you when you are a positional leader, but you must understand that a positional leader has to do with title. If you are not entitled or given a title, you cannot lead. So people actually follow a positional leader not because that person is quote-unquote dynamic, but because that person has a post. So, for example, if you are a newly appointed manager, or you are a CEO or a COO of a company, people follow you not because they have seen your track record, but because because you were made to be a leader in that company. And that happens to a lot of people. The positional leaders, they focus more on authority rather than influence. They lead people with authority. I'm this, I'm that. And so people fear them, or quote unquote, people respect them because they are in that position, not because of who they are. Then there's a second kind of leader that people see them as leaders because they have permitted them to become their leader. It's more of a leader that is based on relationship. People follow you because they want to be inspired by you, because they trust you. If you live in a house where you have siblings, they will follow you and listen to you because you are the elder brother. They've grown to see you, they've grown to trust you because you are the one that is leading. But after a while, when you all grow up and become boys or ladies, and everyone has gone their ways and they have their own too, they will respect you because you are their sibling. But that doesn't mean that you will do better than them. So an example is a team leader who earns the trust of his members through kindness and accessibility. Because some people, once you give them access and you are kind to them, there's a tendency for them to respect you. The third kind of leader is the productive leader. And I like this kind of leader because you might hate him, you might not like him. He's not after the title, but he's a leader because he has accomplished a lot of things. So that leadership is being driven by results and accomplishment. So people follow this kind of person because they have achieved for the organization or for the team. Example, Ronaldo, Messi, and other guys that play good football. People watch them because of what they have achieved. You know, there's a particular guy that scores that banging goals, 3 goals. He kept banging three goals in. So such a person is a productive. It might not even be the captain, but it's productive. So if you are a productive person, the focus is on the fact that you have achieved goals. So you are a leader in that space because you are a productive person, or because you are a productive nation. You know, a lot of nations are seen to be leaders not because the people there are special, but because they are productive. China, Japan, Taiwan, some of these countries, especially Taiwan and Vietnam, are smaller countries, but they produce a lot. What we are saying is that if you are a leader because you achieve results, people will see you as such. Then the fourth one is the people kind of leader. They are used to developing and empowering others. They are safe, they are secure, they groom people up, they train people up. People follow them because they invest in them. I mean, they are leaders that people would like to follow because they focus on mentoring. They focus on training. They focus on creating future leaders. People follow them because of what they've done for the organization and for the people there. Then the last one is a beauty. Those are what we call the pinnacle leaders, or leaders that are they have achieved a certain level of legacy. This is leadership based on reputation and legacy. People follow them because of who that leader is and what they represent. The focus is on the fact that they have created a lasting influence. They have inspired others. They might start, or they often start from the positional kind of leader, but they've moved all the way. People have trusted them. They built people up. They've mentored people. They have achieved results. They have been productive. So, example of such leader, Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela, he sacrificed for his country. I mean, resilience, his forgiveness, his visionary leadership. I mean, he stayed in jail because he had a vision that South Africa should be something. So those are people that we call leaders that have achieved that pinnacle style. Other people are maybe like Jack Welch and Mahatma Gandhi. People who led with principles, they stay put, not minding what happens to them. In the positional type of leaders, oftentimes when they are removed or when something happens to them or they are funding or something, they might want to resign. Positional leaders are prone to resigning. Other kind of leaders, especially people that are legacy, people that have achieved that kind of leadership thing, it's not about the money, but it's about the vision or what they want to achieve. Now, the millennials and the Gen Zs that are around today, I am doubting if they will become like the kind of leaders that we have of old. Men like Nelson Mandela, men like Obafemi Awolowo, men like Nnamdi Azikiwe. Because most of these guys, some of them work in the digital space. Some of them lead teams that they don't see. What I'm trying to say is that a lot of people will fail because they have not learned some certain principles. So let's look at the reasons why most people fail as leaders. Now, number one, they focus on the immediate. They focus on the money. They focus on the salary. They focus on the circumstance. They focus on the car they would have. If there's no house or a car, they won't take the job. And I'm not saying that you should not take the job or you should take it. I'm just saying that as leaders, we need to look beyond. We need to look beyond what we can see. Then two, lack of vision. I know the scripture says that without vision, the people perish. And also without people, the vision too will perish. But if you are harnessing people together to achieve what? So leaders or people without vision are usually short-sighted. So if you are a leader that does not understand what vision it is, most of these people fail. Number three, resistance to change. Leaders that are resistant to change, they prefer to maintain the status quo over innovation or growth. I'm sure you have heard the story of BlackBerry executives who had the opportunity to be the best in the field, They had the opportunity to be the best around, but they could not just pivot and to just innovate. So when you are resistant to change as a leader, sometimes it can backfire. Number 5, avoiding responsibility, overcompensating yourself. I mean, a leader that avoids responsibility and overcompensates, they are shortfalls, and these are pitfalls. Number 5, poor listening skills. Every leader should learn to listen well. You must learn to listen. You must learn to listen not only with your ears, you must learn to listen with your heart. You must understand what is going on the field. Look at your people. Do you need to change somebody from one unit to the other? Do you need to do this or that? So we must understand what people are going through. I mean, if you don't listen to the team, it shows that there's a lack of interest in feedback. That means you only want your own perspective. So leaders who don't listen well will fall into that pitfall. Inconsistent decision making, lack of a solid framework, lack of a playbook, lack of sound, consistent choices. Now, how did we come about saying all this? It was because we looked at the life of pinnacle leaders. We studied them. How did they make their decisions? Some of them were resolute in the way they made their decisions. Someone like Jack Welch started as a junior executive and went on to be the topmost boss. So you must have an understanding, have clarity about where you want to work, about your career path, about your niche. Not that today you sing reggae, tomorrow you sing this, and that day you say. I mean, someone like Bob Marley, he sang reggae until he died. And I'm not saying you should not do what you want to do, but consistency. When you are consistent, people take you serious. People take you serious. When leaders are consistent, people take us serious. It makes for a solid framework for people to follow. Then another pitfall for leaders, quote and unquote, in most places is micromanagement. Overly controlling, unable to delegate or trust team members. When you don't delegate effectively or trust team members, your leadership might be in doubt. Absence of empathy, listening skills, empathy. Empathy is that you are not connecting with your team. You are not connecting with people. If you watch a game of football, you can see that synchronization. You can see the way they connect. You can see the way all the defenders link to the midfield, how they pass the ball, how they assist the striker, how the striker scores. You will not often see a striker pick the ball from the back of the net and just go straight and go and score. It's a bit tough like that. But you see the systems. You see the way they move the ball. So what I'm saying is that empathy opens us up to connection. When people see that you are empathetic towards their cause, it fosters a better connection. Superficial problem solving is rampant in Africa. You just see people problems are not solved once and for all. For example, in making roads, you just see them pour sand, pour water, pour laterite, just pour something, and they just make the roads. And so for 6 months, the road is good. People ply it, cars ply it. But the day a heavier truck comes and ply on that road, it spoils that road. That is superficial problem solving. We cannot be effective as leaders by just superficially solving issues. No, we need to address the root cause of problems. What are the root cause of unemployment? What is the root cause of inflation? What is the root cause of armed robbery? Why are people stealing? We need to address the roots, not treat the symptoms. This symptomatic treatment of diseases does not cure what is actually happening. And that's why we need to be eating every day, That you ate 3 times a day today does not mean tomorrow you won't need food. Why? Because the hunger is just a symptom. It just shows that your body needs some energy. So we need to, as leaders, focus on permanently solving the problems. We need not to spread ourselves thin all over the place. If you are repairing a road, pick that road. Do that road well. Let that road stand. Let it be that if a trailer comes on that road, it's steady. If a car comes on that road, it's steady. If a caterpillar or something comes on that road, it's steady. Do you understand? So we need to do things well. We need to go beyond being superficial. We need to go to the root of problems. One of the things that also affects us, our style of the way we lead is our knowledge base is just small. Most young people will just read a book, will read an American book, and they have so much forms of knowledge. That alone is not enough. The knowledge you got was from somebody who practiced it in their own climes. So we must have an understanding that that reluctance to learn, to have complete all-round knowledge, that reluctance, it affects us. It affects us in an overall way. Also, leaders, some leaders, most leaders, not all leaders, but I think you get what I'm saying. We react instead of respond. I was watching a press conference years ago, and I think a plane crashed. And so there was a briefing, and tempers had fled. And so one of the government officials, they asked him a question. He stood up and was saying something. And his boss just got angry on national TV. On national TV. Another one happened. A particular chieftain of a state slapped his worker in full glare. I mean, he reacted. Leaders, we cannot afford to be reacting. Let's learn to respond. If Nelson Mandela had reacted and gotten angry and hung himself and did a lot of things, I mean, Nelson Mandela was, I believe it was actually because of him that they brought the World Cup to Africa to honor him. So, leaders, we need not to react every time, but to respond. Other things are lack of integrity and overemphasis on titles. Positional leadership is limited. It is limited. It's not the ultimate. You're just starting out. They are just entrusting things to you. You've not done anything. So if they are saying you are the CEO of this, you have just been employed to lead a company, you didn't start that company. Somebody started that company. So behave well there. Or you are the MD or something and you are being paid. Somebody founded that company. Somebody researched electricity and found it out. Somebody researched how planes should fly. You are just there as a pilot. You're just there as the air traffic control, stuff. You're just a graduate trainee. You don't even know anything yet. You're just a teller in the bank. You're just a, what do they call this thing? Ops head in a bank. You are not God. You are an ops head. So we need to be careful the way we overemphasize on our titles. In Africa, titles carry people away. Excessive value on status and position and hierarchy. It blinds you. That's hubris. It blinds a lot of people to what they should actually do. And people notice this. So, inability to inspire. A lot of people, they call themselves leaders, but they can't inspire. They struggle to motivate. They struggle to give back. These are the things that kill talents in Africa. It kills talent in Nigeria. It kills talent in your home. I have a mentor who, I love the way he trained all his children. what most men don't do. He train his children, and they all do it. They all do it. Some men, they will never allow their children to do some things. Don't touch that car. I mean, your son is 25. You have 3 cars. Teach the young man how to drive, but you are doing all the work alone. You even hired a driver. Teach him. Someone taught you how to drive. What I'm trying to say is that we should relax. We should relax. You should relax. Then being defensive. A lot of leaders are defensive. They are defensive. I don't know if you have been, if you have been on a board, or you have been in meetings, especially in some of our banks in this country, because I hear a lot of things. And you hear the way young men, young women, the way they are spoken to, the way people are abused on Zoom meetings. I mean, why would you do that? Because somebody just asked you a question. Sir, the 500 million that came in last week from the Kiniko, how are we going to reinvest it? Are you already angry? It's not your business, blah, 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 blah. Your job is... Explain. I mean, be calm. Be calm. Don't be defensive. When you are defensive, it prevents constructive criticisms from coming to you. I heard a story about a man who was fixing a meeting on a board and was saying, we all come on Saturday, we have to get this done. And they were trying to tell him, excuse me, sir. And he was shouting, no, you always complain. Anything I say, this is what will happen. And he said, excuse me, sir. He said, no, this is what I'm saying. This is what you do. And nobody said anything again because he didn't allow them to talk. Later, he realized that the Saturday he fixed for that meeting was an environmental sanitation day. Nobody could move till 10 a.m. You are being defensive, but you are not listening to your team. You are not. That is an example of a shallow-minded leader. Shallow-minded leaders don't listen. We are not saying you should listen to counsel, but let your team give you feedback. Don't rely on your authority alone. Don't rely on rules, intimidating people because you are powerful. That's a shallow-minded leader. Leaders are not the same. Leaders are not on the same level. If you're a leader somewhere, another leader somewhere, you are not on the same level at all. People are different. We are all different. And we must aspire to be the best leader ever. I heard about someone who did not come to work a day before. So by the following day, they were preparing his letter of sack. That why did he not come to work and why did he send a message? As they were preparing his letter of sack, a message came in that he died. You did not even bother. Why didn't this guy come? This guy has been coming throughout the year, but he just did not come. Send someone there to check on him. You didn't send because he didn't come for a day. You are trying to sack him, only for them to now say the guy died. The leader now looked stupid in front of the staff. Everybody now started saying, look, they cannot remain here. I can't remain here. I can't work in a place where I just missed work a day and my letter of sack. So as leaders, we should relax. We should calm down. We should calm down and be more strategic. More strategic. Love people. Motivate people. Energize other people. Let's anticipate. Let's give people opportunities to ride on our shoulders. If I teach them, if I train them, they will leave. Let them leave. When people they leave, they are not your wives. People will not be with you forever. And those that stay with you, fine. And if you want people to stay in your company forever, motivate them enough. But you are abusive. On Zoom meetings, you are abusive. Physical meetings, you are abusive. Workers cannot grow under those kind of conditions. So it's important that leadership goes beyond authority. It's about inspiring others. It's about creating a lasting legacy, a lasting impact. Shallow-minded leaders or shallow-minded people may glory in short-time success, but lack the vision to build an enduring value or legacy. And that's the story of Africa. That's the story of Nigeria. That's the story of some of us. All we want is daily 2K. I'm not saying it's wrong. Daily 2K is not wrong. But your daily 2K, you should have some other things in view. Don't spoil where you are making that daily 2K because of what you want to get today. Let's have an overview of what we are doing. Great leaders continuous learning. They keep learning. They keep buying books. Keep working on themselves. True leaders are those that work on themselves. They work on themselves. They work on other people. They have visions. They know what they are doing. They understand relationships. They know how to communicate. They have a servant mindset. They are servant leaders. They don't lack in character. They have solid characters. I trust you will stand out as a leader wherever you are. God bless you. Thank you for watching.